Welcome back to class. Let's go ahead and bow in. Chair up. Can you? Let's start just by jogging in place. Getting those muscles warmed up. Try to move your upper body along with your legs. Try to keep them in sync. Open your knees out now as we're jogging. Now you can try to kick forward just a little bit. Same thing, we're just opening our knees out. And now we're kicking our foot forward a little bit as we open our knees out. Knees up higher. You can move around. You don't have to stay in the same place. Heels to your glutes. Getting blood going into those hamstrings. Now we're going to start here. We're going to bring it knee up and bring it in towards us. Go ahead and walk around as you do this. If you can, if you have enough space. If not, just switch your legs. Bring it up and pull it in. Up and in. Now what we're going to do with this leg, we're going to just bring it up and we're going to try to hit the inside of our foot to our hand. Just like this. Do this a few times. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Good. Hands on your hips. Do some hip twists. Get those hips nice and open for us. And now I'm going a little bit farther down each time I do my hip twist. And start back up. And back up. Reach and back. Reach and back. Down and lean back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And in. Try to go a little bit farther each time. Go and put our hands on our hips and circle our head. I'm just going to do one circle one way and another circle the other way. I'm alternating back and forth if you want to do two and then switch. Or if you have one side that needs to be worked out a little bit more than the other, go ahead and do that. Arm circles. I'm going forward. Once you go ahead and do all of these forward, I'll tell you when to switch. Change directions. Try to get big circle as you can. And trunk twists. You can let your arms swing, or you can keep them in here. Either way. We're just trying to get our back twisting. We're not too worried about our arms yet. Now, let's go ahead and get into our sparring stance. What we're going to do is we're going to do front leg kicks right now. So we're going to do a front leg front snap kick. I'm going to lean back, bring this foot up, kick, and drop it back down into the front. On my count. Ready? And 2, set, net, yes, yes, that's good, get up, up, you, switch sides, same thing, net, 2, set, net, yes, yes, is good, get up, up, you, and switch sides. Now we're going to do roundhouse kick. Front leg, roundhouse kick. And 2, set, net, yes, yes, is good, get up, up, yeah, and switch sides. When you're doing these front leg kicks, I don't want you to bring your back leg up to your front leg as we do our kick. I just want you to lean back and do your kick. Don't bring it up. If you're sparring or in any scenario like that and you bring the back leg up to the front, most of the time it means you're going to be kicking with the front leg. That's the only one you're really able to kick with. Either that or you're just doing footwork to move forward. But either way, they know something's about to happen. We'd rather just lean back and do our kick. Other side, front leg, roundhouse kick. And 2, set, net, yes, yes, is good, get up, up, yeah, switch sides. Now we're going to do front leg, side kick. Same thing applies though. Don't bring that back leg up. Just lean back and do your front leg, side kick. My count. And 2, set, net, yes, yes, is good, get up, up, good, and switch sides. Same thing, front leg, side kick. And 2, set, net, yes, yes, is good, get up, up, good. Take a breath in and out. Now we're going to move on to our back kick. So with our back kick, we're going to break it down again, just like we did before. We're going to break it to 3 counts. So if you remember the counts, number 1 was turn the heels. Number 2 was, you know it, turn the head. Number 3 is kick straight back. So let's get ready. We're going to do our back kick. Now when we do our back kick this time, what I want you to do is I want you to do your kick, and I want you to bring it back to where you started with. So we're not going to be spinning all the way around because we are going to be doing the same leg 10 times in a row. And if you do 10 and you keep spinning around, you're going to be really dizzy. So we're not going to do that. We're going to bring it back. Ready? And break it down. 1, 2, 3, and bring it back. 2, set, Net. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it. 1, 2, 3. Feel good? 1, 2, 3. Make sure you see your target. Get out. 1, 2, 3. A hug. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing. So, counting 1, 2, 3. You can count them in your head. Just make sure heels turn. You see your target on 2. Make sure to pick a target. Don't just turn your head and look somewhere. Try to see something on the wall anywhere that you can kick at. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Make sure I go back on that. 2, 1, 2, 3. Set. 1, 2, 3. Net. 1, 2, 3. Listen. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Is good. 1, 2, 3. Hero. 1, 2, 3. A hug. 1, 2, 3. Yay. 1, 2, 3. And take a breath. Now we're going to do it a little bit faster. What we're going to do this time though, we're going to do the whole kick and we're going to drop the kick down in front. So I'm going to turn. I can still, if you need to, you can still break it down 1, 2, 3. If not, you can just go ahead, turn, do your kick. I rechamber and I set it down in front. And depending on how much space, you might step back or you might be able to just keep going forward in a line. That depends on how much space you have. But notice as I did that, now I switched my legs and I'm able to go right back on the other side. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to be alternating legs with our back kick. Start with either one you want. Ready? And 2. Set. Net. Yes. Yes. Feels good. 1, 2, 3. Get. A hug. Yay. And take a breath in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to Taegeuk Iljang. Taegeuk Iljang, which is the first Poomsae. We should know it by this point. So cheer up. Junbei. On my count. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Yep. Bro. And let's do it one more time. Face a different direction now. Yep. Junbei. So you shouldn't need to look at me at this point. You should know this by now. But if you do have a brain fart, your mind slips, you can look up here and see what you need to do. Take it Iljang on my count. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. Hip. Left leg goes around, bro. Good. Now we're going to move on to Taegeuk Jang. We're just going to do the first 6 techniques of Taegeuk Jang. Trip. Junbei. Look to the left. Low block. Walking stance. 1. This is the exact same thing as in Taegeuk Jang. Step forward stance. Middle section punch. 2. So almost the same thing. Instead of a walking stance now, we're in a forward stance, punching right to the center. Set up. 1. Walking stance. Right hand low block. Same as Taegeuk Jang. 2. Forward stance. Punch. Right hand comes behind the ear. We're setting up for our middle block. Left foot goes into a walking stance. Middle block. 1. Straighten the right arm. Left arm comes up behind. Step forward. Middle block. 2. And bro, let's go back. So that was the first 6 techniques. So if you notice, the first 4 techniques are almost the exact same as Taegeuk Jang. The only difference is when we did our punch, instead of being in a walking stance, we were in a forward stance. Then when we started moving this direction, we were walking stances instead of forward stances. So it's similar, but it's not the exact same. So chair up, Junbei, but the pattern is the same. We go left, we go right, and then we go forward. So again, low block, button, walking stance, forward stance, middle section punch. 2, 1, right hand, low block, walking stance. 2, forward stance, middle section punch with the left hand. Right hand comes behind the ear, look to the left, walking stance, middle block. 1, straighten the front arm, other arm comes back, step forward. 2, bro. Again, trip, Junbei. 1, 2, forward stance. 1, 2, forward stance. 1, walking stance, middle block. 2, walking stance, middle block. Bro. I'm going to do it from the front now. Trip, Junbei. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right hand, middle block. 2, bro. One more time. Trip. Try to change your angle on this. So if you started all of these facing towards me, I want you to face away from me or to the left or to the right. Either way, we're practicing a different angle this time. Trip, Junbei. 1, 2, forward stance. 1, 2, left forward stance. 1, middle block. 2, middle block. And bro. Now we're going to practice our second solo drill. So our second solo drill is going to be a 1 round kick. 1, 2, step, round kick with the front leg. 1, 2, 3 is going to be our hook, round kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, step, round kick. So notice I have a bag out here in front of me. You can do this all in the air if you don't have something to kick at, but I honestly prefer if you have something to kick at. The reason why is because we're changing distances. So if I can punch here, but I throw a roundhouse kick and say I turn all the way into it, look where I'm impacting. I usually like to impact with my shin, my lower shin, whenever I'm actually hitting something and it's not just trying to score points. If I'm in a fight, I like to kick with my shin because there are 26 bones in your foot and your shin is going to be much tougher than all of those. So I usually like to impact with the shin. But either way, I still have to adjust my distance. So if I'm right here and I turn, I might be hitting with my knee, which could be okay, but it could not be okay too. They could step into it. We want to practice changing our distance. So a bag is going to help you with changing your distance. And the same thing, from my jab to my cross, my hook, if I reach way out here with my hook, that's not going to be a very good hook. I'd actually want to be right here with my hook. That way my wrist is all going to be aligned as I do my hook. If I'm reaching here, I'm going to roll my wrist. It's not going to be fun. So I like this just because it allows me to practice changing the distances, and I have to change it when I step. For all my kicks, I just did this one. I step offline and kick. That way I can land where I want to compared to being too close and my kick getting stuffed. But let's go ahead and practice this a little bit. So we're going to start off. I'm here. 1, it's my jab. I like to turn my hips, hit, then I step offline if I need to get my distance. Because I'm in punching range, I want to get into kicking range. I step, round kick, and I come back. Next is going to be 1, 2, step, round kick. Notice I had to step off this way. That way I could impact with where I wanted to be. If I stepped forward, it would have turned into a knee strike, or possibly they would have stuffed the kick and I wouldn't have even made impact. So that was 2, 3, 1, 2. Now I had to get a little bit closer for my hook, and now I'm really close because of my hook, so I have to create even more distance. So as I'm coming back with this, I step back at an angle for my round kick. And 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is across, step, and do your kick. So we're going to practice this a little bit faster now. On my count. 1, kick, reset. 1, 2, kick, reset. 1, 2, 3, kick, reset. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other leg. So sometimes I want to just kick, especially if I don't feel like I landed hard with that right. I like to sometimes follow up with the same side kick just because it kind of feels natural. But I want to try to avoid that for now, at least. Later on you can do that and it'll be fine. But just for this one, we want to try to avoid doing that. So we want to kick or punch, and then we kick with the opposite side that just punched. So if I just kicked with my right, or I just punched with my right, I'm going to kick with my left. If I just punched with my left, I'm going to kick with my right. Let's do this again. Hands up. 1, kick. 1, 2, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. Now let's go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to do the same thing. So my 1 is now with my right, and I'm going to kick with my left. So I want you doing these with me, even if you're just doing them in the air. So 1, kick. 1, 2, step, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, step, kick. If you have a bag, of course, I want you practicing on the bag. 1, kick. 1, 2, step, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. Again. 1, kick. 1, 2, kick. Notice how I'm cutting the angles when I move. I go off to the side still. I'm not just going straight forward. 3, 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, step, kick. One more time on the bag, if you have a bag, of course. Ready? 1, kick. 1, 2, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, step, kick. Take a breath in and breathe out. And breathe out. Now we're going to move on to our next solo drill. So our next solo drill is another one that I really like to do on the bag because it makes it easier. So this one is going to be a roundhouse kick bring it all the way back behind you, turn, back kick. So this is what we're doing with this. Roundhouse, bring it back, back kick. Of course, you can do this in the air the same way. Roundhouse, bring it back, back kick. I just like to do it on the bag because when I start to pick up speed, it's a lot easier because I hit something and that kind of forces my leg or propels my leg back into its spot. And then the back kick comes a little bit easier. So if you're doing it in the air, all that means is you're going to have to do it with a lot more control and less power. If you have a bag, I don't want to say this, but you can use less control. You shouldn't, but you can. It's going to be easier to use less control, and you can put more power into it. So you kind of have your give and your take. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Got my right leg back, so I want you to go ahead and do your right leg as well on my count. Hana, kick, back, back kick. Do, kick, bring it back, back kick. Set, kick, bring it back, back kick. Good. Kick, bring it back, back kick. This one. Kick, bring it back, back kick. This one. This is good. Kick, bring it back, back kick. Hello. Ahub. Yay. Now we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So we're going to be kicking both of the kicks with our left leg. Ready? And kick. Bring it back behind you. Look. Back kick. Another reason why I like the bags is because you really do have to aim. With kicking in the air, you can just kick in the air. Because you're using that control, you don't worry about it. But when you put power into a back kick and you miss, it is not comfortable. If I know I'm not going to hit anything when I do my back kick, I'm not going to hurt myself because I know that. When I expect to hit something and I miss, it's not a fun feeling. You might hyperextend your knee. So you really do need to make sure that you're more accurate, which is a good thing about the bag is you have that urge to be more accurate compared to if you're just kicking in the air. Let's keep going. Hey. Set. Net. Listen. Yes, sir. Is it good? Get over. Up. Hey. Take a breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a front leg back kick. So, sounds kind of weird, right? What it is, we're turning our heels and we're lifting up and kicking with the front leg. So the reason why we might do this is say we're in open stance. So open stance is my opponent and myself, our chests are facing the same direction. This would be closed stance, where my opponent's chest is facing that direction and my chest is facing this direction. So we're going to say that we're in open stance. If my buddy Bob here had legs, his left leg would be in the rear and my right leg is in the rear. So now say he wants to throw a roundhouse kick. So when he throws his roundhouse kick, he's going to turn his chest as his leg comes this way. He's trying to hit my open side, so my chest. Say this is in a Taekwondo sparring scenario. He's trying to hit right in here. Now, I don't want this side open to him. So what I'm going to do is I turn. Now the only place that he can score a point would be to the head or right here. I've got this side pretty blocked off, and I'm going to do a straight line kick, which hopefully is going to reach him before his kick hits me, and chances are it's going to knock him off balance. Straight line kicks have a tendency for the opponent or the person being kicked to fall backwards, to stagger. They're usually very effective kicks. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten my partner back up, but that's just kind of the scenario that we're in here. I'm standing here. He's throwing a roundhouse kick. I'm going to turn and I kick with my front leg. So this happens when we're in close or he's closing the distance in here. I turn and I kick, just like this. So this is our front leg back kick. Our back is exposed to our opponent and we kick. This is a very difficult kick to see a lot of times. Usually whenever people turn their back like this, they expect a back kick with this leg. So they would expect to see it coming from the side, or they would expect to see, say, a turning hook kick. There's many different things that they expect to see, but most people do not expect a back kick from the front leg. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I got my left leg in front. You can go ahead and do either side. We're going to switch. On my count, we're just going to turn and kick. And now with this one, I don't want you to turn and then kick. I know I kind of explained it that way, but it's all going to be a one motion. So I turn as I kick. I turn away as this leg is coming up. I'm here, here. So don't just 1, 2. If you're having trouble with the concept of it, you can do it that way. But later on, we want to pick up the speed, so it's just 1. It's all at once. So we're going to go ahead and count these out on my count. Ready? And 2. Set. So this kick isn't really as strong as a back kick. You're not going to do very much damage with it, but you can score points with it, and you can stop your opponent's attack with it. And people start to get really annoyed when you do this type of kick because it's hard to defend also. Set. Yes. Yes. Is good. You know. Up. Yeah. Take a breath. So if you notice, this one kind of gets set up like a front leg side kick. The only real difference is I'm turning my hips more. I turn my hips so they face completely away instead of this way, which, like I said earlier, cuts off their opportunity to score in the open side. This is a much bigger target for him, so I take that away as I do this kick. If I was just to do a front leg side kick, they still have that opportunity to kick in here. Compared to if I'm here, that opportunity, you don't get points for kicking on the back, so that opportunity gets taken away. Let's go ahead and switch our sides. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our front leg back kick. Ready? And 2. Set. Net. Yes. Yes. It's good. You know. Hub. Yeah. That's our front leg back kick. Like I said, it's not the most common thing, especially for back kicks going, but it does work in sparring, and most people don't really see it coming. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our conditioning portion of the class. So our conditioning portion, since kind of the theme we've been doing is a lot of back kicks, especially we just ended with that back kick, we're going to do back kick circles. So I know we've done all the other ones with circles. We're going to do back kick circles. So go ahead and grab onto something, whether it be your friend Bob or the wall or whatever it is. We're going to stick our leg out here, and we're going to make these circles, trying to keep our hips pointed away. This should be a lot in your glutes when we do this. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's put our right leg back. And remember, we go up to the top of the circle and we come right back down. We're going to do 5 one way and then 5 the other way. Ready? Hana. Try to make big circles. Set. Net. Das. Other way. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Now let's switch sides. Same thing, lift it up. Ready? Hana. Make sure you're looking at your heel. Just like you would if you're kicking. Set. Net. Das. Now let's switch sides. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Other leg. Look over your shoulder. See it. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Other leg. Lift it up. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Other direction. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Switch legs. Ready? Make sure you see that heel. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Other way. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Switch legs. Might be feeling it in your lower back. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Other way. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Now, I'm feeling it a little bit, but I'm not feeling it as much as I would like to. So let's go ahead and do 20 squats. Ready? Begin. Hana. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Is good. Gero. Up. Good. Johanna. Keep your back straight. You'll set. You'll net. You'll das. You'll yes. You'll ilgum. You'll yellow. You'll ahum. Smooth. I'm still not feeling too much. I feel like we could be a little bit more sore than this. So let's go ahead and do 20 push-ups. Push-up position. Ready? Hana. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Is good. Gero. Ahum. Johanna. You'll set. You'll net. You'll das. You'll yes. You'll ilgum. You'll yellow. Yeah. Smooth. I still feel like we could probably do just a little bit more. Let's go back and let's do 20 more squats. Ready? Making sure we keep our back straight. Don't lean, bend it. Keep it straight the entire time as we come back up. Ready? Hana. Set. Net. Yes. Yes. Is good. Gero. Ahum. Johanna. You'll set. You'll net. You'll das. You'll yes. Is it good? Yellow. Yahoo. Smut. Wait for it. Smooth. Take a breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's go ahead and cool down a little bit. So let's go ahead and drop down right here to our knees. And what we're going to do, we're going to stick our hands out and we're going to sit back just like this. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in your back, your lower back, and then in your arms, probably right around your armpits. Breathe in and out. We're going to go forward. We're going to lift our knees up off the ground. We're going to drop our hips down, but don't put any weight on your hips on the ground. Just drop them down, just like this. And keep those knees are off the ground, and your hips are almost touching the ground, but they're not quite touching the ground. And now, from there, go back to this position. Again, go back to the cobra position, which is this one. Hold it. And one more time, go back. Let's go ahead and sit down. Extend one foot in front of you. And reach for those toes. Switch sides. Go ahead and put your feet as far apart as they go without having to sit down into the splits and then dropping down. So it's going to be a lot more narrow than what it would be if we dropped down from the splits, but that's fine. I want you to just go down right here and reach right down the center. Move around. Drop one shoulder, raise the other one up, going back and forth. But I'm still leaning forward as I do this. From here, let's go ahead and push. Go just a little bit farther. I'm going to do the same thing. Lean forward, and then side to side. Not going too much, just a little bit of movement. Body's going side to side. I feel it right in my hip flexors. Reach for one side. Try to put your chest and your head down. Reach for the other side. Now what I want you to do, I want you to go ahead, take your belt off. Hopefully you're wearing your belt. If not, grab it, fold it in half, just like this. We're going to put it on our toes, right here. We're going to raise up, just like this. Try to keep your leg, this leg, and that leg are both completely locked out. Your hips are flat, so I don't want you raising one hip up just to bring this leg up higher. See, I can do that, no problem. But I don't want that. Your hips are in line, not one higher than the other, and then bring it up, just like this. You should feel it nicely right in the back of your knee and then in your hamstrings. And if your belt is up higher, almost around your toes, and you're pulling straight down, you can even feel it in your calf. Let's go ahead, let's hold it here. Notice my bottom toes are pointed straight up. I'm not pointing them down to the side like this. Yes, I can bring my leg way up higher if I do that. I don't want that. That's not what we're going for. Bottom foot is pointed straight up, just like this. Now from here, I'm going to keep my hip, this hip, the one that's up, I'm keeping it here, down, and I'm bringing my foot over to the side. You should start to feel it a little bit in a different part of your hamstrings. Don't raise your hips up and do this. This is not what I want. The back toe, bottom toes are still facing up, and I'm just bringing my foot over, and I'm trying to keep this hip down. It might raise up just a little bit, but don't let it come up very much. Here. And you should be feeling it quite a bit right in here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing, other side. So, bring it up. Both my hips are down on the ground. Just like this. Bring this up. Like I said, if you want to put it right on the ball of your foot, it'll help you get some calf stretch in there. Making sure both of your knees are locked out as we do this. And hold it and breathe. Breathe. Tell it to relax. You can bounce it a little bit if you'd like, but don't let this knee bend. If that knee bends, that's not what we want. We want our knee locked out straight. Even if you have to put your other hand on top of it, keep it locked out. You might be way down here. That's fine. Not too worried about it. We're just trying to get a nice stretch in right now. Now we're going to lean it over to the side. My foot only moved probably about a foot over, and I feel it. I feel it up here. It's a different stretch. This is what we want. Again, we're not doing this. Just bring it over a little bit. Keep it locked out. Yeah. Go ahead and stand back up. I'm going to put my belt on real fast. Let's go ahead and bow out. Chair up. Kunye. And great job on the class, you guys.